Hello, I'm Stephen A. King. Welcome to Hot Topics, where we bring you the hottest topics in the media with a legal twist. Today we're here with Alan Diamante. Thank you for joining us, Alan.
Thank you very much.
Alan's a board-certified specialist in immigration and nationality law. He's been doing this for over 17 years. He's a fighter in the courtroom, handling cases in both state and federal court. Alan, we're going to jump right into this today.
Please do.
Now, Alan, President Obama has made changes to the immigration policy. What does this change mean to immigrants who are trying to get their visas?
Well, President Obama recently made an announcement on January 19, 2011, that the immigration process for people that are waiting to fix papers, let's say, through the consulate process, because they're not allowed to do it here in the United States. We're primarily talking about people that are married to United States citizens or are parents of adult United States citizens. These are called immediate relatives. Well, these folks today would have to leave the country, apply for a waiver, if they've been living in the United States unlawfully more than 6 months. If they have been living in the United States unlawfully more than 6 months, they are subject to a 3-year bar. If they've been living in the United States more than a year, they are subject to a bar of 10 years. Now, the way to come back to this country, legally, they would have to apply for a waiver outside of the country. The problem is, they take a big risk. The risk is, they might stay out there waiting for the approval of this waiver. How long will it take? Some of them wait a month. Some of them wait a year. Some of them are stuck there a couple years. So what does this say for folks that, let's say a family of 5 with 3 children, husband and wife, will they take that risk? Well, what President Obama did, he made an announcement of streamlining the process, that he will allow people to adjudicate this waiver in the United States. Until today, they have to adjudicate that waiver outside of the United States. But now, given this new change in the regulation, not in the law, but in the way they do things, that the President now, through the executive branch, will process these waivers here in the United States. When the individual leaves the country to do their consular process as required under the law, they won't be stuck out there, because the process would have already been streamlined here in the United States.
Well, this streamlining can really help out. Seems like especially if you apply as a family. Now, is that something that's also being considered, whether or not a family through the streamlining process can apply all together as opposed to one by one?
Well, what Obama did is he considered the humanitarian aspect. He considered the fact that there are real lives here, family unity is an issue. And in many of these cases, the breadwinner is the person that has to leave the country. That's a huge risk for a family. So he's done a wonderful thing, considered that that fundamental element of family unity and how important it is for the family not to be separated. Now, this is not a change in the law. It's not something that's against what Congress intended in the law. However, the law does require the folks to leave the country. So they leave the country. It doesn't require the folks to be stuck outside of the country for some indefinite period of time. So what Obama is doing is regulating the laws in a fair manner, and this is wonderful news, because we estimate about 12 million undocumented in the United States. You got to assume that since many of those folks have been living in the United States for years, because there hasn't been any positive change in the immigration laws benefiting the immigrant for years. So a lot of these folks have been living here, having children, getting married, and they have no solution to their immigration status. So given this announcement of streamlining, it's going to facilitate for a lot of these folks to leave the country, become legal without changing the law.
Seems like with the streamlining, there actually is change. Is that right?
Well, streamlining is some control that the President has, because while Congress makes the laws, the executive regulates the laws. Now, the President, what he did is he's changed the regulation of the laws under his auspices. What he's doing is he's saying that, well, you won't have to wait outside of the country to see how that gets adjudicated. We'll allow you to adjudicate it here in the United States. When you go to your appointment, it's just a matter of whether you're approvable for some aside from the waiver. You'll know whether the waiver gets approved in advance. So it could be approved in one day.
Okay, so he's just tweaking the process a little bit.
That's it. Okay. And it makes a lot of sense, because unfortunately a lot of people are opting not to do the process, even though somebody might be prima facie eligible for this type of relief. They're not going to take the risk, because they don't know how long their significant others going to be outside. And this only helps, you know, a spouse of a United States citizen or a parent of an adult United States citizen.
Well, at least someone's paying attention to the issues, Alan.
Yeah, it's a breath of fresh air that our president has been doing something about it. It seems like his hands been tied with Congress. It seems like the Republican part of Congress is doing everything to make Obama look bad, and the Democratic side of Congress doesn't really have the power to create change.
There you have it. Alan Diamante, nationally recognized, board certified immigration attorney, professor at law, certainly a people's attorney. Thanks so much for sharing your knowledge, your insight on all these immigration issues. We look forward to having you back on the show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being with us on Hot Topics on Legalese TV. I'm Stephen A. King. See you next time.